Hey y'all, Kenny here. Thanks for joining me. I'm back with the BSA Edge pistol scope. This scope will not hold zero. There is a backstory. I've included a link to a playlist in the video description if you want to check that out. So after giving this some thought, this is the solution that I've come up with. I don't know that it will work. In fact, I can think of 100 reasons why it won't, but I'm hopeful that it will. What I've done is drilled 3 holes in the tube, halfway between the 3 existing holes. And I've drilled them back here in this groove where the O-ring fits for this magnification ring, the sealing ring. And as you can see, it will cover up the screws when it's installed. I've drilled right through the erector. This hole in the outer piece is drilled large enough that there's room for movement on the screw because this is going to have to flex in the tube quite a bit. Now, I did glue this inner piece, which was loose, back on with RTV. Then I drilled the holes on through into the inner piece, and I've tapped those holes out to 832 thread. Now, the screw is overkill. I didn't intend to do that. I had some number 6s, and I used too large a drill bit to drill a hole in that inner piece. So I had to bump it a size and had to modify the heads on these. But number 4 screws would be plenty large enough. So my plan is to put this back into the tube, fill these holes with RTV. Then when I run these screws in, I'm not going to completely tighten them. I'm going to leave a thin layer of RTV under the screw, and I will let that set up. Then I'll install my O-rings and the magnification ring, so the O-ring will be compressed right on the head of the screw so they can't back out. And hopefully this larger hole and the RTV will allow this to flex enough at the back to get my scope adjustment. Now, another thing that I noticed, and this may be the root cause of everything in this scope, this piece is made of brass, bronze, whatever you want to call it, but it is super heavy, super heavy. And an object in motion tends to stay in motion. And so I think what happens is this erector with this piece on there is so heavy that after the recoil, when the pistol lands back in the bags, I think it's just slinging this thing forward. So what I've done is drill the inside out as large as I dare, because I'm getting really close to hitting my threads, and reduce some of the weight. There's a picture of the original up there in the inset. You could see how thick it was, but hopefully that's going to help as well. But this thing is still pretty heavy, so I don't know. Let me get it back together and we'll see what happens. Got it all back together. Everything is pretty much hidden. Can't tell I've been in there. Get it mounted back on the contender. Run it up the flagpole, see if it'll fly. If at first you don't succeed, try again. I think I got it this time. My main concern was that I wouldn't have enough flexibility at the rear of the erector to get a full range of scope adjustment. But it turns out this thing tracks perfectly. I made my scope adjustment just by looking at the target from the bench and guessed at the distance, and I ran the scope up. Had I gone down and measured how much I need to move it, I would have been spot on. So I'm super pleased. This is not a bad little scope. It has pretty good glass. It's going to suit my purposes. Now I know that taking scopes apart and repairing them is not for the faint-hearted. It's not for everybody, but it's something that is doable. I have another scope right now, a Nikon, that I need to repair. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that now. I'm always doing different stuff. And again, thanks for watching.